Determine the number of subsets and proper subsets in a given set. Okay, so first we are going to tackle subsets and proper subsets. So a few notes. The empty set, right? So the empty set is sometimes shown like this, basically meaning there's nothing in it, right? It's empty. The empty set is a subset and a proper subset of any finite set, let's call it A. So no matter what set we have, the empty set is considered a subset and a proper subset. And a set is always a subset of itself. But it is not a proper subset. So if we have set A, right, finite set A, then A is also a subset, but it is not a proper subset, okay? So while an empty set is both a subset and a proper subset, the full set is only a subset. Okay, so now we're going to look at two scenarios of counting subsets. So the first one here, we'll call this 1. If we have finite set A, where A is only the set of 1, then we have two subsets, the empty set and the set that contains 1. So there are two total subsets. If, in option 2, set A is both 1 and 2, then we have, of course, still the empty set and the full set, right, because those are both subsets. And then we also have the subset 1 and the subset of just 2. So there are 4. You might notice if we have 1 element in the set, that means we have 2 subsets. If we have 2 elements in the set, then we have 4 subsets. Are we seeing a pattern? Yes, we are. So for the number of subsets, if A has n elements, so in this first one we had 1 element. In the second one we had 2 elements. So that's how we can figure out n is the number of elements in the set. Then there are 2 to the n subsets, right? And that includes the empty set and A itself. So think about it. In our first one, when we had 1 element, 2 to the first is 2. That's the empty set in A itself, like we showed. In the second one, we had 2 elements. 2 squared is 4. We had the empty set, we had A itself, and then we had 1 and we had 2, right? Remember? From the previous page. Now, in proper subsets, only the set itself is not a proper subset. So if we go back to our last examples, if we would take out the set itself in each one, so the first one was just 1, we'd be down to 1 proper subset, and we'd be down to 3, meaning we would just take 2 to the n and subtract 1. So these are the formulas to find the number of subsets and the number of proper subsets. So let's look at that. How many subsets and proper subsets does the following set have? So we have the set n, 0, 3, 6, 9, and 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set n has 5 elements. So to find the number of subsets, we are going to take, remember, 2 to the n power, where n is the number of elements. So we're going to take 2 to the 5th power. Well, that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which in this case is 32. So there are 32 subsets. To find the proper subsets, we just subtract 1. Right? Because we are taking away the set itself. So in this case, there are 31 proper subsets, because that is 2 to the n minus 1. Okay, how many subsets and proper subsets does the following set have? Set T consists of the colors red, blue, green, and brown. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 elements. So to find the subsets, I take 2 to the 4th power, which is 16. So there are 16 subsets. And to find the proper subsets, I take 2 to the 4th minus 1. And 16 minus 1 is 15 proper subsets. And that is how we determine the number of subsets and proper subsets in a given set.